Hello and welcome to Delirium Hour. I hope everyone's doing well. My name is Jonah, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts that hold up this channel, Kent and Baron.
Hello.
What's up,
We
guys?
are on episode 5 of Delirium Hour.
Cinco.
Yeah.
Cinco.
Yeah, I hope you all are enjoying the podcast so far and enjoying what we've been talking about. If you ever want to hear us talk about a certain topic, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll see what we can do with that. I want to remind you that we are on Spotify, and if it's more convenient, that's there for you. But we would love the continued support on both our platforms. Anyway, we have a lot of fun bringing these episodes to you, and today we're coming at you with some of our favorite directors.
Woo, director
Coming at
episode.
All right. So Kent, who are some of your favorite directors?
Man, when you start talking about directors, like there are so many to kind of name, and I guess on top of my head, some of my favorites have always been definitely David Fincher comes to mind. I think we are all Nolan fans, and we all love our Christopher Nolan. What else? I am a big Tim Burton fan, and I feel like it takes a certain kind of like fan to kind of like, I guess, be into Tim Burton because he's very niche too. But that being said, I like Tim Burton. Wes Anderson always does a good job. Yeah, like those are some of my favorite ones. Oh, Quentin Tarantino. Like if we're talking about auteurs, distinct style, like you can't not have Quentin Tarantino in the equation. He's just like his personality is like plastered into his movies. You can just totally see it.
Yeah, it's like you can see who he is through his movies.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And I like Tim Burton films as well, but I'm probably not as big as fan as you are.
You say that, right? You say that, but don't lie to all the viewers. I asked you like the other day. I'm like, how many movies have you seen? And he's like, Sweeney Todd. No. I'm like, you can't be a Tim Burton fan if you didn't watch Sweeney Todd.
All right,
you know
I'm fake.
You're a fake, dude. All you watched was Beetlejuice.
No. I watched Sweeney Todd, but I didn't watch Beetlejuice. No, wait.
No.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Okay. Well, you watched Sleepy Hollow, right? And then you were like, eh.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't make like it's different. It's different for sure, 100%, man. Yeah, but yeah. Should I just keep talking about my directors, or what other directors are you into, Jonah?
Well, I only really had like Christopher Nolan and James Wan to mention.
James Bond.
James Wan.
James Wan.
James Wan.
And maybe Ari Aster.
Ari Aster, yeah,
that's
man.
a good one.
He's like a new favorite for all of us.
I probably mentioned it before, but Alex Garland, he's a good one.
Alex Garland is a really good one.
I feel like you're a Scott Ridley guy too, right?
Ridley Scott, man.
Oh man, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Scott Ridley?
I think there is someone named Scott Ridley. I just probably mix up their name because
there's probably someone in the world named Scott Ridley.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's someone in the world named Garland Alex too.
Ridley Scott. My bad. I apologize to the fans out there.
Baron, you probably know how to pronounce his name better, but Denis Villeneuve, I think.
Denis Villeneuve.
There you go.
Gesundheit.
Thanks.
Yeah, but that's why you're here.
You say Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah.
Is his first name not Dennis?
It's Denis. There's one
Den-
S and it's...
Denis. Wow. How fancy.
Sorry, I'm going to kill this fly real quick.
All right, and commercial break, and our first sponsor. I'm just kidding. I wish we had a sponsor.
Colgate. Brighten your day, but wait. Colgate. Before you brighten up your day, brighten up your teeth. Ching. That's the best I got.
Make sure you add a little sparkle right there.
No, I don't want to do that, man. It's more work for me. This guy just left. He left during like.
All right, this guy's fired.
Hey, now that he's gone, viewers, just let us know if you just want that guy gone. Like,
if you don't have an episode next week, you know what happened.
Oh my god, dude. He's out there killing flies. All right, well, let's fill in the space. So directors. You mentioned Christopher Nolan. And,
yeah, let's start with Christopher Nolan. We probably have a lot to say.
I think
all three of us.
Agreed. Yeah. Oh, he's back.
Oh. All right. And we're back with Delirium Hour. I think we're gonna go ahead and start off and just talk about some Christopher Nolan. Baron, what would you say some of your favorite works from him are?
Hold on, he's back. Dude.
All right, Fly. He's the second
Christopher
guest of Delirium
Nolan.
Hour.
I don't think Christopher Nolan has ever released anything I didn't like. I'm assuming Tenet's gonna be amazing. But just going
Will
back
we ever
to
know?
Memento, like even though Memento has been something I recently watched, I don't know. I think he's always been on point as a director. You already know like what he's willing to do for the movie and like what his style is. He's kind of I hate to say it, but like no holds barred kind of guy. Whatever he's gonna have to do to realize his vision, he's gonna do.
Yeah, and he
and
does
it
it to
shows,
the full
like-
extent.
Exactly. Like to think that he was, I don't want to say relatively unknown, but there was a point where not a lot of people knew Nolan as like a household name. And I think with like the Dark Knight trilogy, it really put him on the map. You can go far as to say like, I think he's never kind of faltered, but now that he's in like the worldwide spotlight, like the more, I guess, public spotlight, everybody really recognizes his work to be always on point. And I'm assuming, I hope when we do see Tenet, it's probably going to be amazing. Fingers crossed.
The first bad movie he makes.
Yeah, imagine Tenet's so bad, and
It's the
I
one
have to
that-
go back on here this show, and I have to say, like, sorry guys, don't watch Tenet. I can't recommend it.
I think it would be good. I think it's
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
safe assumption to say that it will probably be like solid at least. I think
Yeah.
you mentioned that in Christopher Nolan, he's that one of those names in the show business that
Mhm.
whenever you just hear that name, there's so much notoriety and there's so much weight to his name.
Yeah.
Based on all the works that he's released like over the years, Dark Knight. You can't not mention Inception. You cannot mention Interstellar.
Prestige, Interstellar.
Yeah, and Memento. I think any film class that you take, I think Memento is one of those films that always like show up in the lessons. It's just like that non-linear chronologically like storytelling. He really like popped off during
Yeah.
Memento. In
That's
Like,
like
I
the
hate to
prime
use the word
example of that.
smart, but
Mm.
Christopher Nolan's films are so smart. Like, it's not to say that anyone that doesn't appreciate them or doesn't like them is dumb, but you can see that he caters his movies to like a specific audience. If you're willing to take some time, rack your brain, and think about a movie, then Christopher Nolan films are for you. Like, even to this day, Inception is one of the most critically acclaimed, but also like publicly dividing movies of all time, I'd say, because there's people that can watch it the first time and think, wow, that was amazing. And there's people that can watch it like 50 times and be like, I still don't get it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
layers.
But you can say that about almost all of his films. A lot of people, I mean, there's a handful of people out there that don't appreciate Memento because there are critics that would say it's kind of convoluted or even hard to understand in some cases, because it's a weird concept to show a movie backwards and forwards at the same time.
Crazy.
And if you're like, I don't know, like if your attention span's kind of low, like it's easy to just get distracted. You could go to the restroom, come back, and 5 minutes later you won't know what's going on.
You see people who don't like movies like that where they're like, oh, it's too convoluted and everything. I feel like they're going to the movies because kind of like, I don't know, I think their, I guess, intent watching the movie is just so backwards. They're going in they're expecting something easy to understand. But I think Christopher Nolan, when he creates a movie and you watch it, you leave the theater, sometimes it leaves you with more questions than like answers, but like
True.
it
I think-
just
yeah,
makes you
every
think
time.
about it. Makes you think about it, and I think like isn't that a testament to how striking the movie is, because you can't stop thinking about it, whether it's like you loved it or not. You're just like, what happened here and what happened over here? It's crazy.
I
It's complex.
totally agree with you guys that like he makes super intellectual movies,
Yeah.
but I think at the same time they're still pretty entertaining, even for like people who aren't there for like that Christopher Nolan like
right.
Yeah.
smart movie thing, you know?
It's a range.
Like
Mhm.
like
It's kind of
visually-
embarrassing to say though too, because like
Yeah.
sometimes I don't get it, and I'm like,
Yeah. No,
one I could mention
definitely-
would be like Dunkirk. Did you guys ever watch Dunkirk?
I've seen
Yeah.
half of it.
Yeah, Dunkirk. It's
I don't know
very
why.
simple. On paper, it's like it's three separate, I guess, accounts of the same event that's happening, which is like the evacuation of Dunkirk.
Mhm.
And like he even gives you like a setting, like the time setting at the bottom of the screen. And when I'm watching, I'm just like, what just happened? Because then it'll show you like the sky point of view, which is like from Tom Hardy's point of view, and it happens in like what the span of 30 minutes because it's a plane. You know, everything happens
Mhm.
really fast. And then you have like the first person account of the foot soldier, and that goes on for like almost an entire day, I think, or maybe even more than that. No, I think it's just one day, like early morning to the evacuation. And then there's like the boat perspective, which starts like midday and ends obviously at the evacuation. And even just putting that together in my head, I'm like really confused sometimes.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, you know? Like he knows what he's doing, and to like the most eagle-eyed viewers, you still find like some interest in the movie, or you still find something that surprises you.
Yeah. I want to go back to Tenet real quick, and like I just want to say like I would only trust Christopher Nolan to do a movie like that and get it right.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
That's Christopher Nolan written all over it, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you talk about like directors, or when you think about directors, and I hate to always mention that film class, but it was just so impactful, right? But when we were learning about directors, they were talking about how a lot of their works have to embody the personality and the interest of the director that's helming it. And a common theme that you see throughout a lot of Nolan films is the concept of time and how
Yeah.
he manipulates time. You know, like you look at Memento, it's like chronologically all over the place, backwards, forward, and Dunkirk, different times, blah blah, and it's really cool because like, I think time is such a, I guess, interesting concept. And you watch those movies and like you get to see his like little input on, I don't know, just like the way he just controls and manipulates time.
Mhm.
I have no words for it. I just think it's just really cool, and I had to mention it at least, you know.
Right. One other thing I really like about Nolan too is he likes to leave like breadcrumbs. Like if you ever watch something like say what's an easy one?
Prestige.
Prestige. Yeah, Prestige. It's such a cool movie because you think you've seen it all, right? Like, oh, a magician never reveals his tricks, but you already know all the tricks. You watch a Christopher Nolan movie about magic and you think, holy crap. Especially at the end. Like, I don't want to reveal it for anyone that
Yeah.
hasn't watched it, but
The Prestige
there's a
is
couple of twists.
Banger.
Right. There's a couple of twists in that movie that just blow everyone away.
That's how you do a magician movie, like for real. though.
Exactly.
We always say, we're like, you start watching that movie and you're like, oh, this is a magician's movie, and by the end of the movie you're like, that was a magician's movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was the magician
That was
movie.
the
I mean,
magician's
okay,
movie.
it's not it's not like there's a lot of magician movies out there, but we have like Now You See Me and
Yeah.
Now You See
Oh,
Me
yeah,
Too.
like compared to that, dude.
Now You See Me was pretty good though. Honestly, I really like that approach, even though
I like
it
a good
got really weird at the end.
I like a good old
It was
heist
cool.
movie.
Yeah,
I
it was cool,
I'm
but like
biased.
at the end, it wasn't even magic anymore. It was just like, so you're telling me they
You're wrong.
evaporated into money? That's not magic.
Yeah. I don't know. A magician never reveals his secrets.
True. Very true.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. What's his face? Lex Luthor looking guy. What's his
When?
no,
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse
Mark
Eisenberg. Looking at
Zuckerberg?
you. Yeah,
Oh.
Mike Zuckerberg looking guy. Lex Luthor looking guy. Yeah, man. Any other Nolan films that I know? Baron was really into I know
Yeah,
Jonah's
Interstellar's a good
really
one.
is really into Interstellar as well.
Do you have anything to say about Interstellar, Baron? That's probably
I
one
mean,
of
I
your
have a
favorite
lot
movies.
of things to say about Interstellar, but I just want to go back, kind of tying it back into Tenet, right? So, if you guys haven't heard, Tenet is kind of known right now to be, I don't want to say groundbreaking because it's a magnificent feat, but one of the things is they're really minimizing the use of CGI and green screen in this new movie with Nolan. And he's kind of known for doing that already, but it's just crazy to think because on the scale of this movie, it's really hard to do. But Christopher Nolan is so smart in kind of keeping his financials low that he's actually saving an incredible amount of money by keeping the CG effects and just kind of like the software expense, I guess, that you would normally have to do for a big budget movie like this. Like in comparison, Marvel probably spends half of their budget on just effects alone, right? But there's that story that's been pretty widely publicized with I think the plane sequence. There's a little story about how he did the calculations, and he would actually spend so much more money to do a CG plane and, you know, have all of that backdrop computer generated than just doing it physically with a Boeing 747, I think, or one of those. And I don't know, man.
So
Going
wait,
back to
are
what's up?
you saying he's opting for more like digital effects rather than
No,
practical?
opposite.
Or opposite. So he's doing more practical.
the entire
than-
movie is probably like 90-something% practical.
Oh,
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
which is really crazy.
I really commend
And
that.
if you remember in Interstellar, there's that crop field scene, and it's
Yeah.
just basically what Timothy Chalamet and Matthew McConaughey driving through a crop field for like just a small sequence, like 10 minutes
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
That whole sequence is practical because he literally bought a cornfield. Like he bought
That's
acres and acres of a cornfield and actually made money by profiting it off.
Can we visit that cornfield one day? Like the Christopher
Probably,
Nolan
yeah. I mean, I
cornfield?
don't know if it's still corn. Actually, I don't think it's corn anymore. I think they grew the corn and then sold the corn and made money.
That is so
That's
cool,
it.
man.
Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah,
You
always,
talking about,
always
like-
practical effects. Go on.
Yeah, you talking about his practical effects? Like, just makes me think about how. You got it?
Yeah.
It makes me think about how grounded, like, he has this grounded approach towards his films,
Mhm.
and that's just like one way of contributing to that.
Right.
But like, he always makes like a down to earth movie, even though if it's not like a realistic, like physically.
Yeah,
No, very true. It's funny that you said that because I think about how I hate to keep saying groundbreaking, but that's kind of how I describe Nolan. Damn, there's another one. The Dark Knight trilogy, right? When we first heard that Nolan was going to take on the superhero genre, I was going to be like, I wonder what he's going to do. Because you know his history from before, right? You could almost assume that there's a lot to go wrong. There's a lot of chance for, like, you know, a big world-class mess up. But he didn't. He did the one thing that we appreciate in movies from, like, when we talked about Watchmen, right? It's a realistic approach on a outlandish situation, I guess. But it's almost easy to say after watching the Dark Knight trilogy that it's kind of a realistic approach
Mm-hmm.
to a very, very possible situation. Because there's a guy that we've heard this story before, right? His parents were killed, and he wants to do something about it, and he has this strong urge to find justice for his parents and people that could be victims like his parents, right? And he has just an enormous amount of wealth that he can do anything with. So he makes a suit, buys a bunch of gear, does a lot of training. That's possible. You know, either one of us could do that these days. Obviously, if we had the funds, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he didn't want to do it like any other way where you look at like Tony Stark and he made a suit that, yeah, like it's possible, but come on, it's developed around the basis of an arc reactor, which we don't even know how it works. Like, we don't have anything in our lives that could kind of, damn. I can't do it. It's going to make a really loud smack. I didn't get it. That wasn't worth it. Stop!
I'm gonna have so much editing to do after this. Oh my god.
But
sorry.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, because like the arc reactor isn't something we know, and it's not something we can wrap our minds around, right? There's nothing that relates to Batman that we don't kind of have a concept of, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it kind of also is like Batman for being a superhero without any powers.
yeah.
But
Very true.
if
If there was any other superhero he could have done, I'm glad it was Batman.
Yeah. But you still got to commend Nolan for like making a superhero movie with an actual plot,
Right.
but like
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
relatable human emotions, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's how you do a superhero movie. And like you need to relate it to like a regular human being.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
Like,
even
what movie about Batman makes you feel for Alfred, dude? That was amazing.
Michael Caine did a great job, man.
Yeah.
Michael
Michael Caine.
Michael
Why
Caine
it's just
is
me that I
the-
love seeing Michael Caine in all the Nolan films. Whenever
I love
see
seeing
him,
Michael
I just
Caine,
feel
period.
so happy, but especially
Yeah.
in Nolan films, it just works. It's like Martin Scorsese's Leonardo DiCaprio. Like
Yeah.
the pairs between directors and certain actors, once you see enough works, it's like whenever you see that person, it just
Mhm.
feels so right. And it's
Like
awesome.
Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Tim Burton, Johnny
Mhm.
Depp, Quentin Tarantino, and wait,
Uma Thurman.
no,
I was like,
she
what,
was,
she's like
she was
one.
in one like two
Yeah.
films. No, she was in.
But I
Pulp
love those
Fiction
films.
and
Yeah.
Kill Bill. But
I
yeah,
don't
still cool
think-
though.
Well, Quentin kind of what Kurt Russell is the one that I always think of.
Right? Yeah, Kurt Russell.
But I mean, it's not as like impactful. Even though Kurt Russell's great in Quentin Tarantino films, they're not like always big roles.
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
say.
they're not like
Actually no, they kind of are. I mean, yeah, like what Grindhouse, is that his first one?
Grindhouse. Is that the? Well, I remember he
The
was
one
in
with Kurt
the,
Russell as a stunt driver.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then he's also like pretty big in Hateful Eight, and he's got a kind of prominent role in Once
yeah.
Upon a Time.
I think, I mean, like, look at Michael Caine. Like, he's not like the titular character in every single like movie, but it's just like
Yeah, he's
just,
not.
He's just one of those, like casting choices that that Nolan seems to really favor.
Yeah.
And then for fans, like, we just love seeing like those pairs on screen, like Prestige. He was in Prestige. He was in.
He's in almost every Nolan film.
Yeah.
If you go really in depth with all the Nolan films and his whole universe, you
Mhm.
can see Michael Caine orchestrating everything that's happening.
The Michael Caine.
kinda true.
He's the actual character in throughout every.
Yeah.
He's like
I want someone to make
Mastermind.
like a small movie of just Michael Caine in all of Nolan's films.
Yeah.
yeah, and if you
That'd be
connect it
so
together, that's the real movie.
Yeah, that's the real movie.
That's the real movie. He's Alfred. He's like he's like a magician's like what was he was he someone's dad, uncle?
In what?
In the Prestige?
No, he was the old magician who taught the two current magicians how to do their tricks.
Right.
But then they split off, and he stuck with Hugh Jackman instead of Christian Bale.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. Love that guy.
You guys like how I didn't talk about Interstellar at all, but I just talked about corn?
Yeah, when Interstellar came up, I was like, all right, here it comes. Right? Here comes Baron's like time to shine, and then you just go on a segment about corn. I loved it though.
I mean, the cool thing too is scientifically, he did a huge thing for astrologists with like the black hole.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that he got Kip Thorne to work on set just to make sure that everything was scientifically accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched that movie twice, and I don't know if I understand it. But that movie is just so trippy.
Yeah.
Good. I'm sure that's what he wants. So
Yeah,
you're just making Christopher Nolan happy, so all good.
yeah, like the end of Inception.
Right.
Did the top fall or did it not? That's a question we'll always be asking.
Okay. You're over here, and the greatest question of Inception for you is if whether the top fell or not. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure is whether it was still a dream or not. And you're the only one in
No,
theater.
that's
like,
basically
but
it.
did it fall? But just imagine you're the only one in like the theater. It's like, but did it fall?
No, that was like everyone though.
I guess.
Yeah, I remember when
the
that
implications.
movie came out, everyone was talking about that movie.
Yeah, no,
And,
I vaguely remember being in the theater, and at the end of watching that scene, everyone was like, "Did it fall?" Like, dude.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. What an experience though, watching like a Christopher Nolan film in theaters.
Yeah, this episode is just becoming like a Christopher Nolan episode.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, so
Well,
far.
now it's gonna become a David Fincher episode.
David Fincher.
Take it away, Ken.
All right, time to shine. What y'all been waiting for? No one. I'm just joking. Just me. So David Fincher. All right, David Fincher. Yeah. I'm not a filmmaker or anything. I'm not a film major or anything. I think the only
Well, we make these
credibility-
videos.
Right. Okay. This is like a far away from film, but I guess my only credibility is that I just like film. And in one of the people in the I guess, industry that I deeply admire is David Fincher. For those who don't know, notable works: Gone Girl, Seven. He did Panic Room. He's also the mind behind the Netflix hit Mindhunter. Also,
Ooh,
Love
Mindhunter.
Robots. Also helmed by David Fincher, and yeah, those. So the Social Network, Fight Club, can't not mention that, Zodiac. So from all those movies, you can really sense a theme, and he's just like a really. All of his movies are generally really really dark, and really really like broody. And I'm not even talking. I'm not even like I haven't even gotten to like the physicality of it being dark. Like his movies are actually dark. Like there's always shadows always being used, but he uses them in such a strategic way to portray his characters and kind of like flesh out relationships between this character and this character. So and if you know anything about David Fincher, is that he's an extremely meticulous and really strict director. So there's a lot of stories online that like from people who are in his movies saying that it was really hard to work with him. Like Robert Downey Jr. had this big beef with David Fincher on the set of Zodiac. Like
yeah, I remember
like
that one.
he just kept everyone on set for so long, even past the noted hours. Reshoot again. Robert Downey Jr. being the guy that he is, pissed into like a little jar and left it like on set, you know, in retaliation. But I think personality aside, I don't know the guy, but you have to admire a man that's just so meticulous, you know, and especially when you're making something like film, it translates into something really amazing. And a big thing about directors that I really, really like that I want to get into is it's not always solely on the director, but I think style kind of encompasses color grading as well. And I'm a big color grading guy. Like I like editing photos and everything. I know that's pretty different, but I'm just into that realm. And David Fincher's like movies are always just so there's always a bunch of muted colors and this yellowish tint, and that's really really prevalent in
that's definitely his
Seven.
style,
right? In Seven and in
even
Fight Club,
even in a movie like The Social Network.
so
I was
yellow.
yeah, I was like, I didn't know if this was the right thing for here, but it was his movie and it was his style.
Yeah, and I like that. Like you just kind of I love it when you can see a film and you're like, oh, there you go, David Fincher at the director's seat and everything. And something I also want to mention too, for sure, is I think so when you watch a movie that's as notable as Seven is, you know, everyone knows the scene where
What's in the box?
Yes, right? Like the big climax and everything at the end. Beautifully done, by the way. There are so many little details in that small scene that he put in like work to kind of get right, that, you know,
John
like
Doe has that by hand.
it's like when during the climax scene, you know, the John Doe would be shot up from would be shot
bang, bang.
filmed at a low angle,
Bang, bang, bang.
versus Brad Pitt's character and Morgan Freeman's, to show that character dynamic where John Doe has the power. He is in the spotlight, and the others are, you know, submissive to whatever pain he's gonna, you know, throw them their way. And there's that so super duper famous quick like still screenshot of Brad Pitt's character's wife, like and he uses like he does that again in like Fight Club, but it's just like it's just weird, and you don't really catch it, but that little like quick glimpse, it's just, you know, it's not sometimes people don't even catch it, but he obviously added it in for further, like, I don't know, like furtherness. I don't know what the word
There's definitely a distinction between directors, because in that same scene it could have had almost like the same impact if he didn't leave that like that quick cut in. But I think about movies like Quentin Tarantino's use of not showing you what's in the box, like in Pulp Fiction. Everybody like for years was asking, oh, what's in the case, you know, like it's this golden thing, and everyone would rather know what's inside than just use their imagination. But both,
He's just messing with this.
Yeah. both effects are effective because
Good word
it
choice.
just shows there's different tastes in how you show the viewers or don't show the viewers the impact of something that's there.
And like from a
That's
technical
a good one.
standpoint too, in Pulp Fiction, like a directing technique that he did that's really notable is the famous patented trunk shot, where he puts the camera in the trunk, and it's angled upwards, and
Which trunk shot?
the trunk shot where like the briefcase in the trunk and everything, and it's or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie, but I know that Quentin Tarantino, he's one of the very first people to do that, and or at least he's really known for his trunk shot.
Oh, do you
from that.
mean
Yeah?
just like the Dutch angle from inside the case? Is that what you're saying?
Just like it's that low angle from the trunk. I don't
Are
know. If
you
we're talking
saying the
same
trunk of a
thing.
car or the suitcase?
Trunk of a car.
Like from the inside.
Yeah, trunk of a car. Someone's you open it up and it points.
Oh, maybe I
upwards.
just can't remember like when that happened in the movie.
Yeah, but yeah, man, like finding different ways to kind of like shoot things. I think that's like one of the hardest job for like the director. You know what I mean? But kind of like
Yeah.
different ways, but also to kind of it has to have some kind of meaning towards the overall product that is the movie.
Mhm.
And those are some of the stuff that I admire from like directorial techniques and everything, technicalities.
Can I mention how you wrote like a 10-page essay on David Fincher?
Oh yeah, I'm just reading off the paper right now on my computer. But during no, I'm winging it. not purely, but yeah, we did mention we took a film class, Jonah and I. One of our projects was to write this big paper right before Coachella. And I mean, it's not like he assigned it right before Coachella. We just do it until like the night before Coachella. But I digress, and we worked hard on it. And yeah, my paper was solely on David Fincher. So I know
What was yours on
I know
again,
a thing
Sean?
or two.
I kind of did like
It was a
the
different topic.
concept. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, I wasn't a director again. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another episode.
Yeah. What are some like tell me more about your directors, Jonah?
Me? Okay. Well, I was actually kind of having some trouble with like picking a director because I don't know if I really ever picked a favorite one, but
Mhm.
I was just thinking I really love horror movies, and you can't talk about horror movies without James Wan.
Yeah. Saw, The Conjuring.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah, come
yeah,
on.
Saw, Conjuring, Insidious.
Even
Insidious.
that
Um,
small little sequence in Aquaman was awesome.
Yeah, Aquaman. Like
Yeah.
He also did
it's kind
Aquaman
of cool
people.
how he went from
Right?
like doing horror movies to
Oh,
doing
man.
movies like Aquaman, and then
Yeah.
even much
Fast
Furious
One of the
7,
Fast
I
and
think?
Furious. Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched that. Did you guys watch that?
Which one?
Yeah, of course. That's the last one.
7?
Paul Walker.
Oh, you never watched 7?
Oh, yeah, I watched that
Paul
one.
Walker one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
sure
last
watched
one I watched.
Yeah.
I know he was involved in like production of like all the other Conjuring movies, but I don't want to talk about them.
We don't talk
because
about
those
those
are
too.
really bad. Oh my god, like The Nun. I think that's our collective. Like we hate that movie.
Yeah. That movie's a letdown. Spin-offs, like stop making the spin-offs. Just focus on the main ones, And if you don't have time to make the main ones, then okay, well, like let's go 5 years without a Conjuring edition, and then give me just a main one, and then
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Conjuring 3. Hopefully we get
Yeah.
that soon.
Right.
I don't know.
Man, they were churning
But,
out the spin-offs for like a good minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
We
trying
got,
to
like,
make money.
3
I guess.
Annabelles. 3 more than I asked for.
We were
Three
just
more than I
talking-
asked
well,
for. Yeah.
We're talking about superheroes, right? And like the whole
Uh-huh.
shared universe thing, and then like
Oh yeah.
the James Wan is
Conjuring
trying to do that whole shared universe with the Conjuring
Yeah.
verse.
What?
Oh man,
He's trying to scare kids in like every generation.
Oh my god.
yeah. But yeah, we've all seen a lot of his works, like Saw, and I think James Wan kind of proves.
James Wan did
that-
Saw.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I think James
Yeah.
Wan has it really. He's. I associate James Wan with a lot of visual effects. I feel like a lot of his movies are pretty visually stunning. You watch Aquaman, right? And I know again.
Mhm.
Oh my! I'm so sorry.
Am I frozen?
You're frozen.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Are you frozen too?
Let it go.
No, you're just frozen. 1. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back. But I was saying that like, oh yeah, I love Frozen too. Anyway, he kind of just proves that horror movies doesn't have to be all jump scares. Like horror movies can be good and they could have like a thrilling plot as well, you know?
Yeah. Look at Insidious, like the whole further, the concept of the further, and how he did that and everything, and how 2 connects to 1, with the whole like he's knocking on the door and everything. Like I don't know, man. It's just
Yeah, dude. Like
that's
I
good
thought
stuff.
that was really cool.
That was good stuff.
you get a lot of like just haunted houses, but he made, I don't know if it was his concept alone, but like just the concept of the plane. I mean the plane, the further,
The spirit
and just
plane.
exploring that.
Plane.
That I love. That's why I love Insidious. That was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared that like that thing's actually true, and like I'd like fall in there someday.
Yeah.
Into the further. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's so funny.
But talking about like maybe like Conjuring, those were like more grounded in like real life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, in real life. But yeah, like they had some like, you know, they're based on like true horror stories.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how true
Ed and
those
Lorraine
are
Warren.
with the Warrens. Yeah. Yeah, but The Conjuring, they're more of like a classic horror movie, but the way James Wan directed it, with like his pacing and his like cinematography, like with that movie,
Mhm.
it's also just a movie that doesn't make you feel dumb. Like there's a mystery and you're going along for the ride with the characters.
Right.
And it's not just some jump scare horror. Actually, well, there was like some good jump
Yeah.
scares in that one.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
it was a really creepy. Yeah. All right, so The Conjuring visually, I thought it was amazing. Good job, James Wan, on that.
Good job, James Wan.
But I really want to talk about the original Saw, because that's probably one of my favorite movies,
Yeah,
and I think that's a movie that really put him on the map.
Did you almost say put
like,
me on the map? No?
Yes.
No? Or, yes.
Put him.
Got it. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of lagging a little bit.
It's all good, guys.
Your brain?
Yeah, that too. But from a production standpoint, that movie was really cool because it was mostly in that one room, you know?
Yeah.
And then,
It was also low budget too, right?
yeah.
I think extremely low
yeah.
budget.
Mm-hmm.
But, like those characters being trapped in there, I think he did a good job of, like, you as a viewer also feeling trapped with them.
Yeah.
And then you're right there with them trying to figure out how to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man,
It's kind of crazy too how you said it's all shot in one room, and he still finds like the creative capacity to keep you interested by kind of doing like different angles and different views, and kind of shrouding like certain areas of the room to only show important things. Because if you're just filming a room, like any novice filmmaker would just kind of be like, okay, I'll just use like 1 or 2 angles. But he's a really smart guy. He knows what he's doing. And I don't think there was a time where I was just like, oh, he already did this angle, or like we already know this side of the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I actually realized too about James Wan was that I think he single-handedly pioneered the genre of cheap budget horror movies. Because I remember way back then, right, with Saw's success, I think Paranormal Activity took that idea and ran with it. But even, okay, going all the way back to Blair Witch Project, those are like the 3 low-budget horror movies that I can remember in like the earliest of times.
Blair Witch Project.
oh man, I just
Blair
I
Witch.
just remember watching Blair Witch Project with Kat, and then when we watched,
I was there too, dude.
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You guys already know this, but I have a great, huge biasm, and I hate found footage films. Like that era.
I love
of the
found footage, dude.
That era could just
Cloverfield
kiss
is my
butt.
shit.
Yeah.
I like Cloverfield.
Except it kind of gets a little headache-y.
I just get motion sickness, dude. Like that's
Yeah.
for me. I guess it's more of a personal thing, but I'm like, I don't know. I guess like just something about it. Like there's something about traditionally shot films and everything, and like the cinematic feeling it evokes that I just can't like let go of. And like the found footage films, it was a whole craze, and I appreciate the originality, or it was a little bit different.
Mhm.
But aside from the motion sickness that I would always get in the theaters, like it just didn't really toot my horn. You know what I mean? I don't know why I said toot my horn, but toot toot. But
Toot toot.
yeah, yeah.
I also want to mention that James Wan was like tied to like a remake of the Resident Evil movie, but like his name is like completely gone from it, and I think that was the best hope of a good Resident Evil movie we'd get. And
Yeah.
I'm just sad as a fan of that game
Oh,
that
you
we're never
sad
gonna get good
fanboy.
one.
You
We're
sad
never gonna
fanboy.
get a good movie.
Yeah, because
It's a shame.
yeah, it's never gonna happen, man. Just
Until
whatever,
Disney
let it
picks
go.
up Resident Evil.
They'll never
Dude,
pick up
that'd be
Resident
sick.
Evil. That'd be terrible. I think all the fans would hate that. They're just gonna Disney-fy the
Yeah.
franchise.
Imagine a Resident Evil maze at Disneyland.
Heck, it's like zombified Mickey Mouse. I'm like, I'm not running away from that.
Dude.
I'm coming up to pet it.
I can't wait to see Claire Redfield join the Avengers in the MCU.
Jeez.
But talking about that movie, that brings me to a director I despise.
despise.
Oh
And-
no!
That
I know who you're gonna
is
say.
Paul W.S. Anderson. And
Oh.
he's the guy that ruined all those Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
But
you can feel the anger boiling from Jonah's eyes.
oh man, I watched every one,
Okay.
and I've
Did
got
you
to
really?
say, I wish I could take my time back.
Yeah. I watched
But-
I watched one Resident Evil movie and was like,
He directed Alien vs Predator.
I mean, the movie wasn't like
it
wasn't
wasn't
like the
amazing.
best movie ever either.
But at least the Alien Predator were cool enough to keep you watching.
If you
Yeah.
combine all the Resident Evils and the AVPs, I guess it makes kind of a watchable movie.
Makes one watchable long.
If I just take
movie.
the best scenes from all of those movies, I'll be like, sure, I could spend 40 minutes watching this.
I think
don't know
if
I can watch
he
that.
didn't get movies that weren't like linked to specific,
Culture,
Like-
like pop culture.
yeah, like culture that, like Alien vs Predator, Resident Evil, if they weren't linked to, I mean, what am I even saying anymore?
like if they didn't have like the weight of the like the
Community.
yeah, and
Fans.
Yeah,
it's
of-
just the
of those-
franchises.
Yeah, the
that-
franchises,
Mm-hmm.
then I wouldn't even watch them.
True.
Yeah,
Maybe he just needs his one good movie.
he needs one good movie.
I
Yeah.
think okay, I'll give him a chance.
Hey, we
I
heard it
think
here first. Yeah.
Even if he's made all these bad movies, everyone always deserves a second chance, even though if it's
Well, he's
like
had
their-
plenty, but
like,
you know.
Yeah,
plenty of-
I
like-
think he's on his 8th chance. What are you talking about,
Yeah.
man?
I don't. Yeah,
When do you when do you just admit that he's just a bad director, and when do you go, he's figuring
you're
it
right.
out?
He
you
should
know?
just stop. I think he's tied to a Monster Hunter movie.
Monster
Oh, is he?
movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, isn't Mia Jovovich also in that one?
Oh God.
Am I tripping?
I
No,
don't know.
wait.
Probably.
Oh.
I don't know much about it, but
I don't know.
yeah, they're married, and he just always wants to make
Oh, I think she
porno
was in that
movies
one then.
about her, I guess.
I hear ya. I think like another bad director I always think of, or I kind of like my go-to bad director is like Michael Bay. I just think you, I mean, his movies are they're enjoyable. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Transformers movies, but
Yeah, dude. Armageddon, like my scientific brain would just die, but my movie brain is like, ooh,
yeah,
space, guns in space.
That's how it gets you. It's just
Yeah.
space. Yeah, but I mean, you watch.
He's got space dementia. What?
He's got space.
Isn't that just
dementia.
regular dementia?
Yeah.
Insert
How do you-
explosion here.
How do you
Insert
possibly
explosion there.
land on an asteroid that's moving at like an unfathomable speed and not die, and also drill on an asteroid?
You tell me.
Movie magic. I don't
Yeah.
know. Movie logic. There you go. That's why. Yeah. And story explosion here.
Yeah, that's how you wrap up Michael Bay.
Yeah. There you go. Just a bunch of explosions and random hot girls.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Different episode. Different episode.
Different episode. Do you have any
Yeah.
directors you despise, Baron, or just another director you want to talk about?
Despise? I don't know, dude. Nothing comes to mind.
Those are
but
heavy words. Yeah.
there's one director that I want to talk about that I've been waiting the whole episode to mention. My homie Damien Chazelle.
Let's go.
Damien Chazelle is one of my most favorite directors to come out in the last couple years because honestly, dude, his movies make me feel things. Like they're such unique stories, but so relatable. Like his 3 biggest movies and his 3 only movies, besides the first one, which was kind of like an indie film project that I didn't really watch, or I think it was just an indie film. But we got Whiplash, First Man, and La La Land. 3 of my favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
Is
Yeah.
First Man a space movie?
Yeah, First Man.
Sounds like a space
Okay,
movie.
First Man is like humanity's first step off of Earth, right? And the way he captured it was just beautiful. And what La La Land is a human story about 2 people that want to fall in love, that want to have a happy ending, but can't because life happens, you know? And Whiplash is about a student trying to earn the respect of his teacher. And that's something I think we can all relate to. But the way his movies just capture human emotion, I think, is just top notch. And visually too, he has a musician background, and you can really see that it translates into film. Because Whiplash is about, song and music, and so is La La Land. But the way he presents, the way he uses music in First Man is also really incredible, because I'd like to say that the lack of music is so impactful. If you guys haven't watched it, there's the scene where Neil Armstrong first, lands, right? And then the doors open and the IMAX kicks in. So he uses IMAX in the movie, but you don't really see much of it until that one scene. Like the first sequence of the moon landing. That's when the IMAX kicks in. It goes quiet, it's completely silent, and you're just there with Neil Armstrong and Buzz, and, in space. It's just amazing.
Yeah, sounds
When
cool.
did that come out? That's not. I want to go check that out.
I want to say 2019.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's
So it's
recent.
pretty recent.
Yeah,
Really
so he
recent.
did 2019. Well, he did First Man in 2019, and then La La Land was, I think, 2014, 2016. Yeah, Whiplash was 2014.
Whiplash was 2014. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's just great. I could say so much about him, but I'm gonna leave that to you guys, and also because I don't want to spoil La La Land for a certain somebody that hasn't watched it yet.
Jonah, come on,
After-
man. Watch La La Land, dude.
Jonah, I don't think you've watched it yet either, right?
No, he's watched it.
Have you?
I've seen it. I just don't talk about it that much, I guess.
Oh,
But Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. Oh, I think they're a
Yeah.
good couple.
that's an award-winning combo, and they did win a couple awards. Whiplash was
Ryan
great
Gosling.
though
He
too.
has a.
What?
No, just Ryan Gosling. He's in like so many different kinds of movies. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to comment on Damien Chazelle. The person that hasn't seen La La Land is sadly me,
Mhm.
viewers. Baron's been on my neck for the last month. It's telling me to watch that movie. I will get to it, okay? But of the movies that you mentioned, a movie that I have seen is Whiplash, and Whiplash is honestly one of it's hard for me to name favorites, but it's up there. It's up there. I have a lot of admiration for that movie too. And what I will say is that movie is such a good example of there are a lot of scenes where it is extremely tense between teacher and the student. It's just borderline abuse. But the way he captures the sweat falling from his forehead, crashing onto the drum set and everything and all of that, it creates this, especially that final act during when he's the big performance and his big
All the blood and
solo.
everything too.
Right.
That was awesome.
And I think that's a really good example of how when you can choose good angles, choose really amazing ways to shoot something to kind of add to the movie. That's Damien Chazelle did a phenomenal job in that movie, and it was just tense, man. I was like this in the theater, or like this in my seat, like, oh my god, so much tension. But,
like we talked about how directors have very notable shots that they use. And one that Damien Chazelle uses is the eye-to-eye contact. Like, it's just a not quick, but it's a long, drawn close-up of each character's eyes, like, almost towards the end of the movie every time. Actually, I think in every single movie it closes the film. Yeah.
With the eye contact?
Yeah. So it's
cool.
It's both characters look at each other, and in all 3 movies it means something else.
Oh, cool.
Like, in First Man, it's I guess it's not a spoiler. It's in the history books. It's Neil and his wife just looking at each other behind the glass because he's obviously quarantined from coming home from the moon, and it's a look of I can't really explain it because it's a whole film. You know, there's a lot of struggle that's going on in his life, and even kind of being the person and how he ended up being on that mission, I don't know, it has so much cultural significance that he really was able to capture and translate into film. But an easier one to explain would be like La La Land, I'd say, because it's the point in which the 2 characters realize like they know they love each other. Granted, like they're on different paths in life now, but there's always that mutual love that they'll never have, or they'll never get rid of, I guess. And then for Whiplash too, it's that look of like, I see you, like I respect you and you respect me kind of thing. Because in the whole movie, you know, Miles Teller's character is just trying to earn the respect of J.K. Simmons, and almost throughout the movie, you kind of get the sense that nobody impresses J.K.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that this man hasn't seen, and there's nothing that anyone can do.
Shut up. Right, you said rowling. Yeah, J.K. Simmons' character in Whiplash, man, I'd seriously cry if he was my teacher. Yeah.
Even I wanted to impress him, but then I'd also probably just quit, being honest.
I would have never enrolled. And just walk in, I see him, I'm like, I've seen Whiplash, I'm dropping. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, no. If he ever teaches a class at any like school and you just walk in, you see J.K. Simmons as your teacher, like, you scram, man. He's just gonna put you through the ringer. Dude, it's bad.
But he'll make you the best you can be.
Yeah, what it costs though. Have you seen Whiplash? Like, Miles Teller's character, he does not exactly like prosper by the end.
Dude,
of the
yeah, at the end of that whole movie, he's not even in the school anymore.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, they both actually lost their jobs.
Dude,
so at what cost, dude?
Bad.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way of teaching someone. But props to him, though.
Yeah, he did it.
Props to him, though.
Respect over education, I guess.
Over education.
Yeah, he knew someone was gonna make a movie about it, and then like, there you go.
I guess.
I know we mentioned that we're going to talk about directors in this episode, but I did also want to shoehorn in the other homie, Roger Deakins, dude.
Yeah.
One of my favorite cinematographers ever, and not to be morbid or anything, but like if he did stop working today, I think his long line of, or his large portfolio of movies would just be timeless. Like, he's Hall of Fame in my book. I can never say anything bad about him, and he's just done so much for cinema, dude. Every single movie he's worked on has had some kind of new take on cinematography, or like has made such a heavy impact on the way we see film. Like, dude, look at 1917.
Like, how many Oscars has that guy won?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Only 2, but not enough. Like 1917, they took that challenge of making a one-take movie, and they just nailed it. And when you hear about Roger talking about it, right, it sounds simple enough, but it all starts with him. I don't know if he gives himself enough credit, because as a guy, he just kind of does his job. You know, he's like, that's it. You know, this is what I'm here to do. But everybody around him and everyone that works with him always talks about how much, like, just how much he brings to the table. And
Hell yeah.
like I said, 1917, if he wasn't the cinematographer that he was, that movie would have never been made. Because it all starts with how he was able to formulate the basic outline of the movie, because they used his knowledge to translate that into how many steps it would take each actor to walk for this sequence.
Damn.
And how much distance for this sequence, how much time that translates to,
And there's so much like
where they need to end up. Oh man, it's crazy.
It's crazy. That is crazy. And it comes to show that where this episode is obviously director, I guess, focused, but there are so many moving parts into making a film. Cinematographer, director, screenwriter, all those people play such a huge role. And when they all come together and they just kind of plug in all their skill sets and everything, you get sometimes they're a really phenomenal movie. 1917, like you mentioned, the director had his part, but the cinematographer was obviously the one behind that one shot.
Yeah.
I guess take to the movie, and that was probably one of the biggest selling points of that movie. Everyone was talking about that after they walked out of the theater, and obviously it was recognized at the Oscars. It's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Blade Runner 2049 would not be the same without him.
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful movie.
Well,
And
it's like Blade Runner 2049 was just dessert for my eyeballs.
Dessert for your...
yeah.
We should patent that. Dessert
Dude.
for my eyeballs.
Do you know who did the cinematography for Mad Max?
I can't remember. You mean Fury Road, right?
Yeah, Fury Road.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I will look it up.
Just because that was another treat for your eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Really stunning too.
It was John Seal.
Mm-hmm.
John Seal. Oh, actually, I knew that. Because I just watched the video about him 30 minutes ago. He has a lot of good ones, but I think Mad Max Fury Road is probably one of the biggest ones that come to mind.
Yeah, that movie's
He did Lorenzo's
awesome.
Oil though.
Lorenzo's Oil. Call back to high
Dude,
school.
Was that biology class?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good movie.
No, that was
that was
Human
good.
Anatomy.
No, Lorenzo's Oil. I watched it in.
Oh, maybe it was biology.
Watched it in
Yeah,
bio.
yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That one in Gattaca was good too.
Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Gattaca was pretty good.
Those were legit good movies that they made you watch
Yeah.
in school, and you're like, this is not half bad.
Yeah. Those are good days.
Yeah. Another, we were talking about visually stunning movies, and I think another director that kind of comes to mind that I really want to just briefly talk about, but we mentioned him, and it's Zack Snyder, and I think we did say we love him or hate him. Everyone has their opinions when it comes to Zack Snyder, but I think what a lot of people can totally agree is he makes a really visually stunning movie, and one of his signature kind of directorial technique is he's known for his action sequences, the dynamic or the use of fast forwarded scenes, then slow-mo it down,
Slow-mo.
then fast forward and slow it down.
They just
It
watched 300.
Yeah.
You watch 300, watch Sucker Punch, watch Batman v Superman, even Watchmen. That usage is actually, that technique is honestly used by everyone and their moms now. But Zack Snyder really pioneered that.
Yeah,
and I
my
just
mom's
think
a filmmaker.
yeah, dude, that's awesome, man.
Dude, the Batman versus Superman Batman warehouse fight scene.
yeah, man.
That was one of the best Batman scenes ever.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the way he approached it really revolutionized the way we film action scenes. It's just that doesn't have to be a stationary shot and then you watch people fighting, and also it allows the audience to make sense of what's happening in the fight by slowing it down. Then you rev it up, then you slow it down, and he does close-ups, and you're seeing the actual choreography to the fight. And it kind of accentuates the choreography of his fight scenes and everything. It's really pretty to watch, And I like that. I like that a lot. It's pretty cool.
I want to say visually, at the very least, Zach was a good choice for the Batman movies, and did he do Man of Steel too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he did. Yeah, and his color grading is cool too. Just all muted colors again, very cold.
Yeah. He
Lots
has
of
a st-
grays
he
and
definitely has a
blues.
style.
And I like that a lot. It's something that you can really tell from like the video so far that's personally something that I'm really into. Like a distinct look and visual aesthetic to a film is, whew, whew. Yeah, we should definitely have a second part because I would love to kind of like even maybe talk deeper or dissect maybe one director in one video while we all take turns, or we can just like another director episode would be great because there's so many to cover, man.
Yeah, leave in the comments who you'd want us to talk about. Well, I think that's all for today, and there you have it, some of our favorite directors. I hope you learned a little something, or maybe found a new director to interest you, so you have some new movies to check out. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys, and if you enjoyed this episode, please press that like button. We'd really appreciate that. And we are actually taking a small break next week just to relax and keep this fun and exciting. But don't worry, we will be back soon with a really awesome episode. And so please subscribe for that.
Ooh, gas them up. Stay tuned,
Yeah.
guys. We got something really special. Like, it's in the works, and we're all excited to like release that and everything. So stay tuned.
Yeah. And don't forget, we're on Spotify and Instagram. It's Delirium Hour. And I know there's a lot, but all the links in the description. Thanks for joining us. This was Delirium
Thanks for being
Hour,
here, guys.
and we'll see you soon.
Hey guys, go watch those movies. Go out and watch a movie.
Go watch any movie. Just don't watch Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. Later,
All right,
guys.
later, guys.
Bye, guys.